Donald Trump's cut off intelligence to Ukraine and is allowing Vladimir Putin and is possibly sharing with Putin our military intelligence. Israel's lookout to be renamed the Trump lookout, because that's what everybody's focused on right now. Or how about this post? Allowing Putin to just indiscriminately kill Ukrainians and not allowing Ukraine to defend itself. Donald Trump's posting things like this. Israel's looked at...
Can you give us a sense of whether or not we are going to get clarity for the business community?
Well, I think so. But, you know, the tariffs could go up as time goes by. And
we're facing the worst avian flu outbreak in U.S. history. Egg prices have nearly tripled, and people are struggling to feed their families. The solution, according to Trump? Shut up about egg prices. A message he delivered while golfing at his luxury resort. This isn't just about eggs. It's about the massive disconnect between political elites and everyday Americans. In this video, I'll show you how Trump's "let them eat cake" moment reveals exactly why so many people feel abandoned by politicians who have no idea how the rest of us live. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Ever notice how the people telling you not to complain about prices are always the ones who never check price tags? Let's talk about Trump's egg sellant adventure. While ordinary Americans are staring at their grocery receipts in horror, our former president is sharing articles literally telling people to shut up about egg prices. His exact words, all while enjoying his weekend golfing at Mar-a-Lago. Nothing says, "I understand your economic anxiety," like telling hungry Americans to pipe down from your private golf course. The average American is now shelling out nearly $7 to $10 for a dozen eggs. That's if they can even find them. Meanwhile, Trump is swinging clubs at his luxury resort where the membership fee alone costs a whopping $200,000. Do you know how many eggs that buys at current prices? About 28,571 dozen eggs. That's enough to make omelets for every resident in a small town. But hey, who's counting when you're rich enough to use golden eggs as golf balls? This egg crisis isn't just your typical inflation story. The Justice Department is actually investigating egg companies for possible price gouging.
Can you give us a sense of whether or not we are going to get clarity for the business community?
well, I think so. But, you know, the tariffs could go up as time goes by. And
Trump is a disaster for business. And here's this type of stuff that he continues to post, though, right? As Americans are wondering right now, Americans who live paycheck to paycheck as they're getting laid off from their jobs, allowing Putin to just indiscriminately kill Ukrainians and not allowing Ukraine to defend itself. Donald Trump's posting things like this. Israel's looked at...
We're in the middle of the worst avian flu outbreak in American history, with over 64 million egg-laying hens lost. That's a lot of future omelets that will never happen. But instead of acknowledging this national crisis, Trump's busy sharing "shut up about eggs" articles between golf swings. And remember when Trump promised on the campaign trail that he'd lower prices for everyday Americans? How's that working out? Inflation has actually increased to 3% since his inauguration. So much for those promises. But who needs affordable food when you have such brilliant ideas coming from your administration? Speaking of brilliant ideas, Trump's Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins went on Fox News with what she considers the perfect solution to the egg crisis. Her groundbreaking advice? The silver lining in all of this is how do we, in our backyards, we've got chickens. Maybe I could get a chicken in my backyard and it's awesome. Yes, that's a direct quote.
they may go up, and I don't know if it's predictability. I think
so. That's not clarity.
No, I think that they say that. It sounds good to say.
Donald Trump's cut off intelligence to Ukraine and is allowing Vladimir Putin and is possibly sharing with Putin our military intelligence. Why Trump's steel tariffs must be permanent. American greatness. And then he's making weird old posts from mid-February too, that Trump is the president. Nation is the happiest ever right now. Well, I wonder if that's why every time you even turn on Fox.
Because apparently we all live on farms now. Can you imagine city dwellers in their tiny studio apartments with chicken coops next to their beds? Excuse the smell in my 400 square foot apartment? That's just my inflation solution pecking at your shoes. Maybe we should all put chicken coops in our bathtubs or convert our coat closets into hen houses. Problem solved. The administration's backup plan isn't much better. They're considering importing eggs from Turkey as a short-term solution. But in the meantime, they'd prefer you just stop complaining about something as trivial as being able to afford food. Because nothing says, let them eat cake, like shut up about eggs when cake ingredients are also getting more expensive. What's truly scrambled here isn't just the eggs. It's the massive disconnect between Trump's gold-plated reality and the average American's struggle to afford basics.
As they're seeing Elon Musk destroy the federal government, as Donald Trump is doing whatever the hell Putin wants.
But for years, the globalists, the big globalists, have been ripping off the United States. They've been taking money away from the United States. And all we're doing is getting some of it back.
Of like propaganda polls, as Donald Trump's polling right now is in the toilet bowl as it's sinking. Nation is the happiest ever right now. Israel's lookout to be renamed the Trump lookout, because that's what everybody's focused on right now. Or how about this post?
When the USDA reports that farmers might need 6 months to a year just to rebuild their flocks, telling Americans to shut up about egg prices is like telling someone with a broken leg to stop whining and walk it off. And here's the really rotten egg in this basket. While Trump golfs and tells Americans to quiet down about food prices, the recovery timeline for egg production remains uncertain. 6 months to a year is a long time to wait for affordable protein sources that families depend on. But Trump's solution seems to be either be rich enough not to care, or turn your apartment into Old McDonald's farm. This isn't just about eggs, it's about priority and perspective. While Americans are worried about feeding their families breakfast, Trump is worried about his backswing. While people are choosing between medicine and groceries, he's choosing between the 9-iron and the putter. And while Congress can't even pass a budget, Trump's telling them to just pass a continuing resolution. Problem solved, just like those backyard chickens will solve our egg crisis. So, there you have it, folks. While everyday Americans are absolutely fuming about sky-high egg prices, our golfer-in-chief is telling everyone to shut up about egg prices between swings at his fancy resort. People across the country are genuinely angry. What? And can you blame them? It's pretty rich when a guy who's never worried about a grocery bill in his life starts lecturing regular folks about what they should and shouldn't complain about. Next time you're at the store, watching the cashier ring up those egg cartons with prices that make your eyes water, just remember, Trump thinks your concerns are just noise interrupting his perfect golf game. Let's be honest, if his best solutions are stop whining or raise chickens in your apartment, he's about as connected to regular Americans as a Martian is to a goldfish. Grumpy Trumpy strikes again.